Hey everybody, welcome back to the Broken Shifter podcast for New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I'm Hurdon.
I'm Carbon.
I'm Caboose.
And I'm Amp, and this is a shit show.
Very.
Anyways, Caboose is going to be leading us in, starting off with the stage winners and the race winner. Carry it away.
So, Stage 1 winner was MTJ, Stage 2 winner was Chase Elliott, and race winner was Harvick. So, yeah, New Hampshire, it wasn't a bad race. It was a good race by New Hampshire standards, but it wasn't a great race by other race standards. Something about New Hampshire I don't know if it's the repave that they did in the corners a few years back or what, but it's just not.
PJ1.
Yeah. The PJ1 helped in some scenarios, but even then it was still one-lane racing on the most part.
Truck Series race this past week was better.
Almirola got that fucking, that inside lane working a lot.
Yeah, and he was pretty much the only one. Harvick had like one or two runs in there, but that was about it. It was just one or two runs.
Almirola could sustain it. I think he was the only one.
Him and Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch actually ran it a few times, but on the most part, everyone was running the same lane. About one lane up from the bottom, maybe a lane and a half, and then towards the exit of turns, dip down to get a nice straight run off a corner.
Taking advantage of fresh tires.
Just something about New Hampshire. It just does not put on a good show. And I remember New Hampshire used to put on a decent show.
They do okay. There's not the bump and run aspect that we wanted to see the whole race that we saw at the end of the race. That's what you expect at New Hampshire and Martinsville and Bristol on a regular basis. But the drivers are such freaking crybabies nowadays. He hit me. I was surprised Kyle Busch wasn't whining his ass off at the end of the race. He actually accepted it, although he kind of hinted at payback.
Yep.
So he answered payback.
That's the way you're going to race. That's the way you're going to get raced back or something like that.
Quick question. What would you guys change about New Hampshire if you could to make it better?
Put the PJ1 on every... Put it the whole way across the track. Let people run up against the wall if they want. Put it everywhere. Don't put it in the bottom lane and... Don't put it in the groove. Because they're putting it in the groove and they're putting it in
outside the roof.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Tire dragging doesn't do the same thing as the PJ1. It puts rubber down, but guess what? It rained right before the race.
Yeah, we were under rain delay for 4 hours, I think it was, from the updated start time.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to start at 3 and it started at like 7 o'clock or something.
No, I didn't start that late. It was like 4. It was only 2 hours late.
It was about 4:35, something like that.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, my bad. Maybe it was ending at 7. Maybe that's where I got confused on that. But regardless, they just put the PJ1 all the way across. Let people drive whatever line they want.
Yep.
They want to run the high line.
For me, go ahead.
I mean, for me, it all depends on how drastic of a change we're talking. Because personally, if they repaved it, I'd put some banking in it. But that's just my personal opinion on it.
You've ruined
put some
that track.
banking to it and see what people. I don't know.
I want to see them repave the top groove, because if you actually take a look at it from a top-down view, after all the rubber's been washed away and everything, I think the top 2 lanes have not been touched pavement-wise. So I feel like a repave on that could actually bring some racing back, possibly. Or make it where there's an extra degree or 2 of banking up there as well. Because that middle bottom to bottom lane, that's been the dominant lane.
If you okay, so the high lane for the most part was the fastest lane. If you add more banking to it, you're gonna make that top lane even faster, and then the bottom lane is completely irrelevant.
No, that top lane is irrelevant, Hurdon. It's the middle lane that's running fast.
Yeah, but you think that middle lane's going to get that banking too?
Well, not if it's only 1 or 2 degrees.
Well, the top lane's only going to get 1 or 2 degrees. It's not going to give them enough to get around.
Well, that and with the repave, it's going to just give it an inherent advantage until the pavement evens out. So at least for a few years, we're going to get good racing.
It would kill the bottom lane, though. Absolutely no reason to run
already dead.
Almirola doesn't think so.
They just have it on life support at this point.
Pretty much.
It's just like running the
Repave
bottom
that
lane
very
at
bottom
Darlington.
lane and-
It's a dumb idea.
Completely repave that very bottom lane and then repave the top 2 lanes and add 1 or 2 degrees of banking to that top area. And then, like you said, PJ won the whole son of a bitch.
All right, go on. Carry on to the incidents throughout the race.
Stage 1 was actually quite eventful. We had 3 cautions that weren't, what's it called? That wasn't a planned caution. So we had the 00 spinning, eating the wall. We had Ding-a-ling spinning, eating the wall. And then, actually no, the 00 just ate the wall. But yeah, Ding-a-ling ate the wall, and big ass chunk of carbon fiber just laying in the middle of the track next to the start-finish line. Stage 2, from what I can remember, was fairly uneventful. Stage 3, Ricky Spinhouse ate the wall, no caution called. His right side was completely pancaked.
Well, hold on.
Was under
Stage 2 had some. Who was chasing Elliott down? Was it? I can't remember. Somebody was chasing. I can't remember
It was
who.
Kurt.
No, it was Kurt.
Yeah, it was Kurt. Yeah. He put some pressure on Chase, and he really put some pressure on him. There's some good racing back in the pack, but anyways, carry on.
Stage 3, Spinhouse pancake in the right side of his car. No caution called during green flag pit stops. Clint Boyer, he started the day off okay, but as the day went on, one of his shocks broke, and that caused him to get the wall. He was still able to get back on the pit road fine, but a caution was called for that, and his car was actually less pancaked. So a little bit of a mystery there as to why NASCAR didn't call Spinhouse, but they did call Clint. And at that point, Eric Almirola was actually leading by, what was it, about 2 seconds, guys? 2-3 seconds, something like that?
Somewhere up there.
Yeah.
He had a good little bit of
Sizable.
distance. Yep. And that caution screwed him. He went from first to, I think, 6th and just couldn't get back up there.
He ended up getting back up to like top 2. I think he placed third.
Yeah.
Third or fourth.
He finished third.
But even then, he had a winning car, and I feel bad for him.
I think Kurt Busch had the
He
fastest
seems
car.
like a decent dude, and he drives.
It
Kurt Busch
would've
had the
either
faster short to mid run, and Eric had the longer mid. Had equally as fast mid run car and a good long run car.
Yeah, Chase also had a good
I
long
think. I don't know what adjustments got made after stage 2. That's what screwed Chase. I mean, he was still up there, but
No, he was
from him being able to pass to not being able to pass, like, completely flopped. Like, he was having problems holding people off. Almost like they tightened the car up, or it was too loose or something. I don't know what it
No.
was, because the
what
car
it
lost a
was-
little bit. Or
it's
wasn't
his
coming
car-
in as quick.
his car just wasn't as good
His
on
car
the
had no
short
speed from
run
the start.
because on towards the very end, I think I was reading somewhere where they were saying that his lap times were actually the fastest out of everybody towards the end of the race, like the last 10 laps or so. And that was with Kyle Busch trying to chase down Harvick. That was with Amarillo trying to chase down Busch.
You mean Harvick?
Harvick trying to chase Kyle Busch.
No, I'm talking about when Kyle Busch was trying to chase Harvick back down after he
Oh.
hit him.
Kyle
Oh,
Busch's
after
tires
he
are
pushed,
fucked.
Well, I mean, and that's fine, but 10 laps at New Hampshire is no time at all. I mean, you're talking.
No, I'm saying with 10 to go
minutes.
is when his car started kicking in. He had the long run car. If there
Yeah.
was
But he
There
was
was
already
another
what, 5,
30 or
6
40
seconds back?
laps, I'm sure, or if there was no caution called.
Yeah.
From Boyer,
Hmm.
Chase probably could have been probably up there, fighting for the lead. Is what I'm
Right.
saying. Like he had probably he had one of the 3 fastest cars to that day. It was between Amarella, Busch, or Kurt Busch, and Chase.
Oh, I'm not arguing that point. I'm just
It
saying
just came
10
down
laps at
to
New Hampshire
strategy.
goes real fast,
And,
and he didn't have it at the time, unfortunately for him.
He made up, I think,
And that seems
4
to be his
positions
thing.
in stage 3. Went from
Something
like
like
9th to 5th, and he was
Ninth to
right on
5th or
4th's
something
tail,
like
I
that.
think. Him and Kurt Busch were battling for a while there.
And,
So.
and I feel bad for Chase because when
He
he
got a
does
stage
have a
win,
good
though.
car, situations, yeah, he got a
He
stage
did
win.
get stage 1.
But I feel bad for Chase because every time he's got a car that's decent in a scenario,
Capable of winning.
he gets set up for the scenario, but something happens to completely just remove it. It happened at Chicago multiple times. It happened at Phoenix last
Daytona.
year. Happened at Daytona a
Daytona.
few times. It happened here again at New Hampshire. Yep. Every time he's
I think
been
it's
in
by
a
the time he
position to
goes
do
and
well.
finds that. I think it's by the time he go and find that lucky horseshoe up whoever's ass it is.
Oh, we
Yeah,
know
I
what
think
3
it's honestly
drivers.
time to get rid of the
himself.
crew chief. He's just not performing as well as he should. He's only performing at the short tracks and the plate tracks. Pretty much everywhere else.
And that's
except for
where
Phoenix.
SHR is doing well as well.
But everywhere else, this crew chief Allen
SHR is doing
cannot
well everywhere.
figure anything
Or
out.
not SHR, HMS.
Yeah,
Spoke there.
we're anything but a mile and a half. HMS is doing great.
They're doing decent. Like they
Hell,
have
we
a
even
car
saw
for a setup. Like they have a setup
Yeah.
for something, but they never have the setup correct.
We even
They
got
never
to see
predict
Jimmy
properly.
Johnson inside the top 10 for a while.
Even in the top 5.
He led
Did he
a couple.
actually?
Oh, he was leading
he
there
led
for a
quite a bit
minute.
last week.
Yeah.
Or was it the week before?
Yeah, so I'm hoping they're finding
wasn't Daytona,
some
it was Kentucky.
speed and some aerodynamics and stuff.
This new Camaro body, I know it's supposed to be this ultra badass thing, but just Hendrick
ain't working
is not
yet.
getting it figured out. And RCR has just never really figured it out in the first
Kyle,
place.
it's affecting Kyle Larson too. I mean, he's been one of the fastest Chevys, but that's just pure on driving skill.
I mean,
he's-
last year he was a
He was
serious
winning.
competitor.
And this year he's kind of he'll pop up once in a while.
Snoozing.
He
Then-
pops
Like
up
you
like
expect
once
him-
every 2, maybe 3
You,
races.
you just expect him to burn the tires off the car if he wins the pole or something like that.
One thing that did
Um,
happen at the end of the race, was only briefly mentioned, was Harvick chasing Kyle Busch down within the last 15 laps, bumping and running him, and taking the win. Crowd went nuts for that.
Yeah.
But then there were also a lot of people in the
Or
stands.
Chicagoland
yeah.
Speedway likes to say the hump and dump.
That was weird.
But
But
that was 1990s NASCAR right there. He got behind him, got him loose, got behind him, got him loose, got behind him, got him loose, and then finally he started giving him the bump and the bump and the bump. He didn't hit him hard enough. He didn't Hamlin Chase Elliott, you know. He gave him the shot to get him out of the groove, and then he went on around him. He didn't wreck Kyle, and Kyle honestly took it quite well during his interview. You could tell he's a little frustrated. But for once, Kyle wasn't complaining about Goodyear or other drivers don't know what they're doing. He still finished second freaking place.
Well,
I
'cause he
know
knows
he's not
Harvick
happy
knows what
unless
he's
he
doing.
wins.
he knows exactly
Yeah.
what he's doing.
Well, he knows who Harvick is too, and Harvick will beat the ever loving
Harvick's
piss
the
out of
closer.
him if he gets in his face.
Yep.
And he'll make sure he closes
Harvick
it.
also helped him originally open up his truck series team. Helped him with the money for that.
Yeah.
So
So, and nobody Harvick's one of them guys you don't want to tango with on pit road.
Or just behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because he'll
Harvick's
give you
like,
room. He'll
he
give you
gave
a
him
minute to
room.
move over.
He gave him room for lap after lap after lap. And Harvick fucked up. He got out of the groove one time and went to like 7/8 of a second back and ran him down. Mainly because of lap traffic, sure. But he ran him down.
It just helped.
And
Yeah.
he Harvick just he had it.
And I will say that's one of the reasons why I like Harvick. Granted, I don't root him on, but just
No.
him as a driver, I like him. Is because
More 90 style.
if he's yeah, if he's a
He's the
little
old
bit
school.
faster, he gives you a minute to move out of the way, unless someone's hot on his ass. But when it's time to move, he doesn't put your ass in the wall. Or like towards the end of the race, there he had some room between him and Kyle Busch, and he was coming up on Casey Kane in 19th, and he just cruised behind Casey Kane, didn't put him a lap down.
Yeah.
There's
Didn't
no
push
need
the
to.
issue.
Exactly.
Didn't Truex end up flipping someone off on camera this week?
Yes. I think it was the 99.
Not the first time
Good
that's
times.
happened. Tony Stewart got caught during practice at one of the road courses flipping Jamie McMurray off.
Sonoma, where he
Yeah.
got his final win,
He,
showing McMurray who's in the number 1 car, and then showing him who's
Yeah.
going to be in victory lane.
Yeah, he got caught on practice. I caught that live on TV because I had to send a picture to Caboose here. I was like, I think Tony Stewart just flipped
Oh, yeah,
Jamie
no, I was
McMurray off because he
watching.
wouldn't get out of his way.
Yeah, Tony was going in for a qualifying lap, and Jamie Mack just did not get the fuck out of the way. That's what happens.
Yeah.
You get
But,
flipped off or you get dumped. One of the two.
So let's throw a shout out to Chevy for finally getting a stage win. Go Chase. Almirola
I think that was...
is going to get some wins this year. I'm thinking he might get 2 or 3. The way he's running, I think Almirola is going to get a couple.
It just takes him one good race and one lucky break.
I think he'll get
Yeah,
one win.
we'll
Even a
see
light
with
one,
Chase.
Maybe. He's kind of like Chase from last season, where it's like he's going to
so
come really
close yet
close.
so
I
far.
think multiple times, but I think he might get one win.
And you know what the interesting thing is? He's in that 10 car, and he's led more laps this season than that 10 car has during its entire career with Danica.
Probably more laps
Yeah.
led than Danica.
Laps finished?
Yeah, I was saying,
We're left finish.
then Danica was even in the top 20 with that car last year.
Yeah.
Yep. And Danica, when she started, she was given the best of the Stewart Haas Racing. And
She really was.
she put the son of a bitch on pole at Daytona, and that was about it.
First
That's her
thing, yep.
only
And
true
then
accomplishment.
fell on its face.
And then she wrecked it, 3 times that weekend?
Something like that. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but she's not that good of a driver like people try to make her out to be. Is she a decent driver? Yeah, but she's not great.
Not for cars that don't have the grip of what she's used to driving. She can drive those
You also
cars
got to remember
perfectly
she
fine.
wrecked it. She also
But I'm-
wrecked in the Indy 500.
Her last, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Denny Hamlin wrecked her so many times in the Cup Series, it was unreal. And
There's a
that
reason
was
why.
Denny Hamlin just being a dickhead. Well, Denny Hamlin's
Well,
grown
that
to
and-
be as hated as Kyle Busch.
Well, that
it-
and just Danica just has bad blood with Hamlin in general, so she ends up being an ass to him, and then he sticks the front of his
Doesn't
car
care.
into the ass of her.
Well, Hamlin stick the ass end of his car into anybody. He did it at Chase last year, and he paid for it the next race. So, what we got next week? Pocono.
Pocono. Let's get away from
Second.
New Hampshire and let's go to Pocono.
This is the second race of the year at Pocono. I
Another
think.
boring race. That'll be interesting.
It was actually an okay race last time around, if I remember correctly.
I don't even remember it.
I didn't watch it.
I don't remember who won.
Oh yeah, before we hop into picks, real quick guys, scale 1 to 10, and this is a new thing we're doing until the end of the year. New Hampshire, scale 1 to 10, excitement, and scale 1 to 10 for entertainment. Because they're two different things. And to clarify for everyone, an exciting race is a lot of like bumping and running and banging and stuff like that.
Passes and stuff.
And good racing is like good passing, good hard racing without actually beating the shit out of each other. Like you're sitting there going, oh fuck, he's coming, oh yeah, that kind of thing.
All right. So, for me on that one, the excitement level was probably about a 2 or 3 up until the end, which it shot to like a 9. So overall, I give it a 6 because the end of that race was great. And what was the other one?
Just entertainment. Was it a good race?
I'd say I'm gonna have to give it a 5 on that, just based on the end of the race in general. The racing was decent, and the end of the race was great. Harvick putting the bumper to Kyle Busch, it was hard nosed old school NASCAR, and I loved it.
Just
For excitement factor, purely because Chase won a stage, Almarella led some laps, and because of the bump and run, I really can't give it any more than a 3. Honestly, most of the race was extremely boring, and I was just kind of like, I couldn't pay attention to it at all. Like, it was just pulled up next to me, and that was about it. And as for the entertainment factor, the actual racing itself, that was a little bit better. I'll give that like somewhere between a 4 and a 5 max, but there were a lot of good moments of actual head-to-head racing, but there were still like there just wasn't enough passing. It's not a true short track. It's not a fun short track.
Which is another discussion we wanted to bring up, but I completely forgot about. It's up to you guys if you want to bring that up or not.
It's not a short track. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
New Hampshire's not a short track, but it has short track attributes, much like Phoenix, Dover, and what was the other one that we had in mind?
Phoenix, Dover, and New Hampshire. That was it.
Bristol kind of has some short track, like it's a short track
Yeah,
itself.
Bristol is a short track.
It just doesn't have the attributes. It's kind of the opposite of New Hampshire.
It's got a ton of banking.
Has
Shit
no
ton of
attributes
bank.
whatsoever.
But
It just is short.
anyway, Amp, excitement and entertainment.
I'll go with 6 across the board for that. I mean, stage 1 wasn't. I mean, I didn't watch much of it, but it wasn't really that memorable. Stage 2 is when things started getting exciting, interesting at the very least, with Chase actually waking up and Almirola trying to catch, or Kurt trying to catch, and then stage 3 was some of the better racing. We're a little optimistic with a 6 across the board.
So I'm the most harsh.
Well, I haven't gotten it. I would say for racing, I'd give it about a 5. For excitement, I'm going to give that a 3, maybe a 4, but mostly a 3. Like, there were exciting moments, but there wasn't really excitement throughout the entire race, just randomly sprinkled in. And then the actual racing
Would you
there was
say
some good racing.
Would you say it had exciting attributes?
Occasionally.
Then it's not true excitement.
Exactly.
So I'm going to give it a 0.
Dun dun dun. I mean, if I had to rate this track on a scale of most boring to most exciting and fun, like overall, this New Hampshire definitely ranks
Yeah,
at
like a 3.
the bottom. No, I mean in general,
Yeah,
like compared to every other race
Yeah.
this season so
Fucking
far. This
Charlotte.
is definitely the worst race out of all of them, in my opinion.
Charlotte.
Yep. What would its Yelp review be?
New Hampshire
There you
is the
go.
number one most
Negative
hated track
12.
to watch.
Hey, at least it isn't your home track either.
Yeah.
Technically, it'd be mine.
Usually my home track's boring as fuck, Chicagoland, but this
my
year
home
it
track's
was
usually
a
not
pretty
all that
fucking
exciting
good
either.
race.
So Michigan's not hasn't been that great the last couple of years.
And Hurdon is Richmond.
That's
That
correct.
one's a little more exciting.
I guess
Oh yeah, Richmond.
actually
That's kind of
now,
the other
Heck,
kind of short track-ish one.
Yeah,
Ish.
Richmond is
I
short
say
track.
ish.
Was it 3/4 of a mile?
It's a little less than 3/4 of a mile, I think.
No, this one doesn't feel like a short
You're-
track, but it is.
Just
Like Bristol.
It's either a tiny bit less or a tiny bit more.
But anyway, our picks. Pocoho. What do we got?
Well, Justin's up first.
Oh boy. Well, can't deny Truex. He's been dominant all season, and pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he pretty much dominated Pocono. So I'm going to go with him.
And remember, our dark horses is pretty much anyone that isn't the main three.
Yeah, pretty much at this point. Anyone that's
Yeah.
not one.
Well, if that's the case, then I gotta go with Larson. He's definitely shown a lot of speed improvement over the last few weeks, and I think he's got the car to beat, provided he doesn't catch fire. Oh wait, that was last year, I think, maybe at Pocono. I don't remember now. But either way, provided he doesn't put into the wall, he definitely has, I think, a lot of potential at Pocono. Oh, sorry, Caboose, you don't like that word.
Despise the fucking word.
Potential.
All right.
We'll talk about that in a over the wall podcast. Why I hate that word. I'm gonna go with Kyle Busch as the race winner, and the dark horse. I'm gonna go with Clint. I know he's been discussed as possibly a top 4, but
Well, he's got 2 wins already. How is he a dark horse?
Yeah.
we said the dark horse is anyone that isn't the big 3.
Well, we did throw in the
He's got 2
extra
wins.
caveat, though, of he has won also this season. So
They haven't won yet.
All right, fine.
Austin
Eric,
Dillon,
I'm all-
I would definitely count
Okay.
as a dark horse, considering he won a plate track. Unless we're talking plate
Yeah.
tracks, unless we're talking Talladega or something like that, then he gets thrown as the dark
Yeah.
horse ability. But when it comes to regular non-plate tracks, super speedways and stuff like that, then I would definitely throw him back, or definitely
Throw him back,
Boyer,
huh?
into the no to a dark horse.
Efficient.
All right, so yeah, then I'll go with Kyle Busch and Eric Marquardt.
All right. And you're up next, Stamp.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was me or you. So I'm gonna go Harvick, and I'm gonna go with Ryan Blaney. Harvick's been damn good there, and Blaney's got his first career win there, so hopefully some of that will come back.
That was another example of Harvick being, a relatively decent person as a racer. He could have absolutely fucking
He's
dumped
being a
him.
kind god.
I give
Oh
trying to
god,
save the
that's a
car.
video reference.
All right. I guess
If
it's
you guys
my
haven't
turn
watched our
now.
Minecraft series, go ahead. It's Space Cubes.
Sky Cube.
Did you want me to make
Sky
my
Cube.
picks?
Yeah, sure.
Nah, you can wait.
All right. Fine.
You can fuck right off.
I'll pick them after
Not
the
make your
race.
picks.
I'm actually going to take a different route than I think only one person picked one of my drivers. I'm going to go with Bad Brad and Ryan Blaney.
Oh yeah, Brad
Well,
Keselowski had
Penske,
no
huh?
brakes at the end of the race of New Hampshire. Forgot about that.
No big three.
I'm going full Penske on this one.
They
Alright.
did both have really good cars at Pocono, if I remember correctly. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
More Blaney than
Well,
No, I think
Brad's
Brad
been
finished
good
ahead
at
of Blaney.
Pocono.
Brainy. I
Rainy.
think it's Brainy.
Rainy, huh?
Yeah.
We just
All
can't
right.
speak tonight. So, viewers, we have done about 4 videos now over the last.
3.
3.
Well, if
Tonight.
you go over the last 24 hours, we've
5.
actually done 5. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
Surprisingly,
we're
I'm the only
a
one who
little
hasn't really
weirded
flubbed.
You will.
out.
Oh, you will.
Oh yeah, I know I will.
We are
It'll be interesting.
we are speaking flub right now.
All right.
Anyways,
We come from the
any
planet
final
Flub.
comments? Final comments. Yes, no, maybe so.
Add
fuck
a
off.
From New
little,
Hampshire on to.
add a, yeah, let's get
And
rid
then
of New
Watkins
Hampshire.
Glen.
Let's just put Eldora on the
I 100%
list.
agree with that.
You know,
Bring
Tony
back-
wants it.
I'm on the Rockingham board. I'd bring back Rockingham.
That would work too. Just get rid of New
I want
Hampshire.
to see some dirt
I don't
racing.
care.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I mean, there's a reason why New Hampshire lost 2 slots and went down to 1 for NASCAR season. But anyway, That was Broke Shift Podcast. New Hampshire, on to Pocono. Hurdon, send us out.
All right. Well, y'all know the deal. I'm Hurdon.
Steel carbon, I think. Not sure though.
I'm Caboose.
I think I'm Amp. Well, last
I
time I
am,
checked it
therefore
was
I am. Not.
Sam.
All right.
I am.
We'll
Now
see you
let's
on the
where
next
hell I ended
interesting
up on
race.
this road trip.